Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. As we continue our introduction to the New Testament book of Philippians, today I want us to look at the city where this letter was sent, the city of Philippi, because understanding the background of Philippi will help us appreciate the message that Paul writes to this church in this letter. Philippi was located in the region of Macedonia, which today would be in northern Greece. The city was set on a fertile plain near the Aegean Sea and was positioned among the most important highways in the ancient world, the famous Roman road called the Via Egnatia. This highway connected the eastern part of the Roman Empire to the western part, stretching all the way from the Aegean Sea down to Rome itself. Because of its location on this major trade route, Philippi became a very important commercial and military city. Originally, the town was known by another name, but in 356 BC, 356 years before Christ, there was a man by the name of Philip II, and he conquered the city for Greece, and there he renamed the city Philippi after himself. Later, when the Romans conquered the region, Philippi became even a more significant city in Roman history. In 42 BC, one of the most decisive battles in Roman history took place near this city. The armies of Mark Antony and Octavian defeated the forces of Brutus and Cassius, the men who had been involved in the assassination of Julius Caesar. This battle helped bring an end to the Roman Republic and paved the way for the Roman Empire. After that battle, many Roman soldiers were settled in Philippi, and the city was given the status of a Roman colony. Now, this is very important to understand. A Roman colony was considered an extension of Rome itself. The citizens enjoyed many special privileges. They were Roman citizens. That means they were exempt from certain taxes and they followed the Roman laws and customs. Latin was the official language. Roman dress was common, and Roman pride ran deep among the people. In many ways, Philippi was a little piece of Rome located in Macedonia. Now, this background helps us understand a little bit about what Paul said in Philippians 3:20. There he wrote, "For our conversation is in heaven." Now, the word conversation there actually means citizenship. And Paul was reminding the believers in Philippi that although they were proud Roman citizens, their true citizenship was in heaven. They belonged to another kingdom. I'm proud to be an American, but my friend, my real citizenship is in heaven. And anyone who trusts Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior, your citizenship is in heaven. Another interesting thing about Philippi is there does not seem to have been a synagogue in the city when Paul visited that city in Acts chapter 16. And if you remember, he began his ministry often in all the other cities that he went to by first going to the synagogue. As you go through the book of Acts, you'll see that's very obvious. But he did not go to a synagogue in Philippi. Why? Possibly there was not a synagogue there. A synagogue required at least 10 Jewish men in the community. And apparently there was not enough Jews in Philippi to qualify for that. Instead, there was a small group of people who gathered outside the city by a river to pray. And it was there that the gospel would first take root in this Roman city. Now, from this unlikely beginning, very important, God would plant the first church in Europe. And this reminds us something very important about the work of God. God often begins great works in very small and unexpected ways. I could tell you so many stories about how I've watched that and experienced that in our ministry over the last 50 years. A small prayer meeting, a little lady sitting over by that river in Philippi, while back in Acts chapter 15, the previous chapter, the people are fighting over circumcision and this and that. You come to Acts 16, and there's a little lady named Lydia sitting by the riverside saying, here I am, would someone share the gospel with me? In God's plan, a little gathering becomes something very special and the starting point for something that would impact the entire continent of Europe. And from that small beginning came the church that Paul would later write to with such love and affection here in the book of Philippians. And so tomorrow we're going to look at this very important event there by the river that brought Paul to Philippi and also began this great work that impacts the history of the world. Well, my friend, God bless you. Put this in your mind as we study through this book of Philippians. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.